Welcome back. Good to see everybody. Well, you guys can see me. I can't see you. Deep dive. We are back with some deep dive. I know I've been away. We haven't done these in a while. I think the last one I did was during the 24-hour stream. But these are little series that we like to, expand and put here and there. So we're back. We got a couple coming up in the next couple weeks. But this first one is very special. Got a good friend of ours who is a space host. Many of you may know him from the famous Fox community or just around his own community. He has his own project among all the other projects that you may see him in. He's also in Jelly with us. So please welcome my good friend, Mr. Quicks, to the stage. What's up, Quicks? How you doing today?
Thank you. We are gathered here today to, celebrate this extreme W for Solana. Now officially in the top 5 cryptocurrencies by market cap. So forget me. Go out there and celebrate Solana. Time to do some dunking on the people that said, we're a dead VC chain. We'll never, bounce back from FTX. Top 5, ladies and gentlemen. So what a time to be alive. Thanks for having me here.
Solana and shitcoins. Let's go. I'm actually trying to get out of a trade of one. I threw 2 Sol in last night. I'm just like, it's not doing too well. Can we get back to where I bought so I can move it somewhere else? But we won't talk shitcoins because I don't endorse them. It's just gambling people. We're just throwing money at shit and praying.
Thank you.
It's straight gambling. If you're a gambler, you're a degen. By all means, have fun. But if you're legit trying to make it in this industry, stay away from meme coins because they will wreck you. Because out of every 100, 95 of them to 98 of them are going to fail. So just keep that in mind. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here for you, Quicks, man. So how's your morning going? It's morning for you, correct?
Ooh, yeah, I know it's morning. I'm exhausted. It's been already a really crazy week with the market, making money, working on my project, working with other projects. Fell asleep completely in my clothes last night. Woke up at 6 a.m. My dog's looking at me like, you forgot to walk me last night. So yeah, man, just working hard, but excited to be here. I know this is something we've been trying to plan before the end of the year because you have a lot of exciting things planned, and dude, I'm happy to be a part of it, man. Shout out VPIF also helping to set this up. So I appreciate the entire DeCod3rs team. You guys are showing nothing but love.
Yeah, I feel like this won't be your last time on our show. So yeah, that's one cool thing. But this is more personal, whatever we do in the future might be a different format. We might be talking about content creation, about space hosting. There's so many different things that we're all in and so many different things that we want to talk about. But like I said, today we're gonna talk about you, man. I want to find out about you. I want to find out about your journey in the Web3. And pretty much, what you're doing. So first and foremost, man, how did you find out about crypto Web3? Like what turned you onto it? Like you're doing your normal job, you're living your life, you're on your Facebook account, hanging out with your friends. When did you find out about crypto? Like what turned you onto it?
Dude, so first to kind of set the precedence, I'm 34, even though I sound and look like a young fox, maybe some would say. I'm still kind of a little bit of a boomer. I was born in 89. So I've been working, grinding for a while. I don't know if we wanted to go into the whole origin story, but how I found crypto was originally through my brother, who's, big investor. He buys a lot of, gold, silver, stocks. He's always chasing dividends. And he asked me about it. And we started messing around a little bit. But what really got me into it was my ex-girlfriend, who we were together for 4 years. She had locked her keys in her car. And so I had to call to get the car unlocked, and the dude was showing me how much he had made in SHIB, and that this was one of the last times that he was doing this. And I was like, oh man, dude, I got to get into this. I got to take this more seriously. And then I originally got in for the tokens. I love gaming also, and then I kind of transitioned over to the NFT side because I started to understand the technology, and I think that's what has kept a lot of people here is that because the quick money is gone. I think a lot of people are excited with the meme coins because these quick flip paydays have been a little bit long overdue. But the brilliance is on the technology, the blockchain technology, and what's possible. And with gaming particularly, being able to update the metadata, own your digital assets. We're seeing Counter-Strike skins sell for 6 figures. There is a huge market for that. Pokemon cards, amiibos, is just gaming esports is the fastest growing industry in the world. More people tune in to watch the League of Legends championships than the Super Bowl. And so that really kind of kept me in. But the games never came out. You know, all the games just said they were releasing Q1, Q2, Q4, and 2 years later, I still hold the NFTs, still waiting for the games to come out. But I found so much more in different communities and platforms and utilities, and like what you guys are doing. You guys are filling in a huge void in the ecosystem, that watch to earn. So this is major. I'm proud to be in still the single digits, by the way, number 9. So I'm in the top original 10 episodes. But this is a moment in history, because when we look back on this 5, 10, 15 years down the road, it's going to be really interesting, and we'll think back to these as the good times. But that's kind of like a little brief overview. I didn't know if you wanted to dive deeper into my origin
No,
story
I
and
mean,
what I
it's
did.
called deep dive. It's called deep dive, so we sure want to deep dive. But let's talk about the guy who came and unlocked the car. I wonder where he is. If all his money was in SHIB, I hope he sold the tops.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, he was up massively. He was showing me like 30 grand that he had on his Coinbase, and I was like, dude, like, why are you still like, why don't you like focus on trading? Because at that time, like I said, my brother does stocks. Like, I understand about trading. I didn't really do any technical analysis. I learned that along my Web3 journey, but it was just I still have his number. I should probably text him and check in with him, see how he's doing. Maybe send him a
Yeah.
Moon Ranger.
He's
He's
like,
got a
I'm
Solana wallet.
homeless. I'm living on the streets. I left all my
Oh
money
my
on
gosh.
FTX.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah. He'll hit me up for business if you need any unlocked cars.
Yeah, man. So it was your ex-girlfriend. So I mean, that really brought you into Web3 when you think about it. So I mean, I guess you got one good thing out of that relationship. If anything, was if the relationship ended bad, at least you got her locking her keys in the car brought crypto to you in a sense. You got to look at that positive there, because I mean, would you have found it otherwise?
That is a good way to rationalize it. But I am someone that's like, there's no losses, only lessons. And just like on a personal note, like I've been working ever since I was 15, because early on at 15, my pops passed. So I had to like really kind of work full time, go to school. I didn't really get to enjoy like my high school, college, either in school or working, just helping to support the family. So, kind of, I don't really, take things for granted. You know what I mean? And one of those things is like the people and relationships that you keep, because you never know, when your last time is speaking to that person, and like people that have experienced loss in their life, truly understand that and truly take that with them. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm able to bring always such good vibes every day, because like you have to wake up and like you have to choose to either be happy or to, let your demons take over. That's always the two wolves inside of us. Which one do you choose to feed into? And I really take that seriously every day. So I always try to bring good vibes, good positive energy, because I understand what loss is like. And then 2020 was like a really bad year, because my ex also, we lost our son in 2020. So that was a really traumatic experience. But like, she went through her thing, I went through mine, and I kind of just dove deeper into Web3, and I used like kind of my isolation time to really, learn. And I paid my tuition in all the projects that didn't work out to how I thought, my projects, the growing pains. And I think that the past few years have just been, my university into crypto and Web3 and NFTs, because, I paid the price, and I paid it early, because there's going to be people that are going to come in that are going to have to learn these lessons. And it's not easy to, break your bag mentality, for example, not being able to realize profits when you're up, because you don't want to sell your bag because you see it as like an identity, or you're too, drawn to that. But so it's a big learning curve in Web3 and blockchain with the technology and the mindset. But I'm very fortunate to have experienced it in this bear market and this time to accumulate. And now we see Solana in the top 5 cryptos. And it's a really, really humbling experience, but I'm also extremely excited for the future.
Yeah, man, and you had some very valuable points there. One, there's no losses, there's only lessons. That is such an important life hack once you understand that. And sorry to hear about the losses, but you are 100% correct. When you experience devastating loss in life that really affects you, and you lose people in your life that were close to you, or you question things why, that really wakes you up to enjoy the day, to be positive. And it's pretty much why I have such a positive mindset myself, because of the same kind of experiences. I went through traumatic loss, and it really wakes you up to realize that, hey, I'm here for a reason still. Maybe not everybody's going to make it. you know, we're all trudging along trying to figure out what we're meant to be here, but there's a reason for me to be here. And I need to make the best of that, and I got to affect as many people as possible and try to be positive and try to change people's lives just by being myself and just being positive. So much appreciative to you, and that's one of the reasons why I have you on the show, because I look for people like you who are positive in the space, who are constantly giving positive vibes and trying to do good, because that's the people I want to you know, showcase. So you summed it up perfectly there with all that, why you're here. Like you said, you're in the top 10. Yeah, I haven't done too many deep dives, but, you know, I'm very picky with the people I choose. So I want to make sure that I'm bringing the right people on, and they're people that I respect in the space. So again, that's why you're here, man. You know, I've known you for a decent, I've been in back and forth in projects with you. We haven't really talked much on a personal level, but I've known you for a while. You know, like I said in the other day in Discord, I went in the message you and I was like, there's a chat in there from like January of 2022. I was like,
Yeah,
how do you even
dude. So
remember this? I don't even
what's
remember
funny
this.
is like we caught up last night on Space with SMS, and it was you were the mod on Wastelanders, and I was
Yeah.
definitely like talking to you at Wastelanders in the same time you were the mod. I like had owned that project. It was one of the projects I was a part of. So yeah, we actually go way back. It shows how
Yeah.
small the ecosystem is.
The whole DeCod3rs team came out of Wastelanders because I explained it last night on your spaces. You know, Vince was the dev of Wastelanders, but the whole core team that he was working with left, just got up and left. And you can't just run a project as a dev. You're a dev. You're not community manager. You're not the, you know, the artist. You're not this. You're not that. If you lose all those people, you know, there's nothing you could really do to pivot. You know, you
Yeah.
could bring new people in, but at that point, you know, he had the idea for DeCod3rs. And, you know, myself, Risha, and Ryan were working with him. Epiphany was one of our bigger holders, and we all got together and we're just like, let's do this. And we, you know, we sold the project to another project and gave them all the funds, and, you know, and put the holders, you know, with that. And we moved into the coders and just focused on this because there was no sense to pivot a project when the original core team just abandoned it and left Vince by himself. You know, there's not much you could do as a dev by yourself. I mean, you'd be stupid to try. I mean, you'd just be dragging it out, and then eventually it would just, you know, turn into nothing. So it was good that he was able to focus his energy on DeCod3rs, and he had this idea. And when he pitched it to us, we are like, yeah, let's do that. You know, like instead of the mods stepping up here and becoming part of the team, let's just create a new project and a new team, and, you know, with people that actually want to do something. You know, not, you know, people have life, but, you know, you don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know personally what happened with the people left Vince on that other project, but I mean, it is what it is. It's Web3. And that's why we like to be transparent. That's why we're on camera. That's why we like to talk to people. And then just real quick shout out. Just want to say good morning to everybody saying good morning. GM's The Feast, Palia, Amumu. I don't know if I'm saying that right. My bad. Mental. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. We're talking with Mr. Quicks here. You might know him from the I believe it's the Moon Show. That's what you call your space
Yeah, the
every
Moon
night.
Show. Yep.
And
Number one
also,
nighttime show on Crypto X, Monday through Friday, 10 to
there it
12.
is.
We'll dive
There it
into in a
is.
little bit.
Yeah, and it's a vibe, man. If you guys never been in one of his spaces, I highly recommend it. We'll shill it some more later, and I will encourage you guys to join up to his spaces for sure. But let's go back. So we're talking about, you know, you had to go through some really bad life experiences to become so positive. And then at the same time, you went to the university of crypto that we all need to go through in Web3, and that's losing your bag. That's, you know, experiencing rugs, probably experiencing bad actors, and just being part of projects. They're just toxic. So when did you find what you consider home? And I know it's probably going to be the Foxes, but like, how was that experience? Like, how did it come about? Like, you're going through all this turmoil in Web3, and then boom, you found a community. You were just like you let off like a like, this is what it's about. Like, when did that moment happen for you in Web3?
So that moment happened when it's not the Foxes. It's actually the Crypto Hustlers. I don't know if you know Clutch and Andrew. They were originally Coffee and Crypto, and we rebranded. So I had become an advisor to this project, Mere Republic, who the founder ended up, like, you know, he had to leave the space, you know, for personal reasons. So I was given the project, which became Moon Rangers. But I had competed on a Shark Tank with them, and they were running a weekly Shark Tank for projects to come up, and 4 of them, 5 of them would compete. You give your pitch, you answer questions, and then they choose a winner to buy. And it was really exciting. So I went on that show, and I talked to Clutch and Andrew afterwards, and we just like clicked. and they weren't sold on my project. But they saw like kind of some potential in me and how I communicate and like, you know, my understanding of the space thus far. And it turns out they hosted spaces every single day in the morning at 10 a.m. So I started just showing up every day, and I became not only a part of the community, but then a part of the team. And that was actually the first community that I like really felt at home with, you know, and I consider Andrew and Clutch like really close friends. Like Clutch is kind of like a mentor to me in some senses. He's going to, hopefully he doesn't watch this. I know he won't watch it, but you know, like it's, so he can't like run this against me, but it's true, man. And that's one of the most important things is you have to be like open-minded in going into this space, you know, like I don't judge other people based on like their age, their race. I learn from Clutch, you know, who I learned from financial advisors, you know, I learned from young Carter, who's 16, who's 15 years old, you know, and still in high school. Like I learned so much, and everyone has something to teach you. But I just really vibe with Clutch, and had a great way to communicating and understanding. And, you know, I kind of ran my project with theirs, and it was just like every single day we met so many different people in the ecosystem. And like that was like the real community that I vibe with. So shout out the Crypto Hustlers, man. Every day you can tune into their morning show. It's now 10 a.m. And you know, check them out, man. I you know, host the Moon Show, obviously nighttime, Monday through Friday. I don't work weekends. But you know, like definitely a great community to check out. And they're like profit maxes, so they're all about like trading and short and long in, but they explore everything: NFTs, politics, you know, crypto regulation. Like it's a vibe every morning. But Moon Show definitely outperforms the underlying asset though.
So was this the influence for you to want to get more into content creation and be a space host? Seeing them do this regularly and seeing like what it did for the space, like was that you kind of like your inspiration for like your nightly show?
I think what came to it was just like the fans, and then like because my show's not huge, I don't have thousands of listeners, I don't have run like a Mario Narwhal space, but you know, like we have, you know, on average in between like 700 to 1,000 listeners those 5 days throughout the week, and it's growing. But I think it was like the people hit me up to say that you run a great show. All the projects were like pretty consistent with, after hitting me up the space, they're like, listen man, we go on a lot of spaces and like we don't, that was like a vibe. We had fun. We talked about our project, but it was like in a fun way, dude. And like, I think that energy, what I bring every day, is what me from other spaces. And then now it's just a grind. Now it's just staying consistent, you know, like, because if I can consistently bring on these projects, like, and vibe with us and talk, I've already gotten my sponsorships lined up for this next year, you know, which is going to benefit our Moon Rangers. And I think like more and more like projects have been hitting me up. I've been having like some pretty cool guests on, some pretty big people in the space. And so that's what it's about to me, man, is like just networking. And that's what like kind of drove me to do it, was like, wow, I think I could be somebody in this space, you know, because for a lot of people, their goal is to make millions of dollars and like retire, buy a Lambo. For me, it's like to have a panel at Breakpoint, you know, to like be maybe like an ambassador to Solana, or like a huge part of like the ecosystem, you know, someone that's like trying to do well and try to like promote projects and still try to direct people in the way that they, like best fits them, like whatever they're looking for. Because I have such a plethora of information on projects in the ecosystem that like, if you come to me and like, hey, I need a staking platform, hey, we're looking to develop a game, you know, we're looking to get our token listed for raffles, like I can plug you in with, you know, all the different projects that are already established, building, that have platforms out, you know, that you can already join. So I think that that's like my goal, and that's what kind of drives me every day. And creating content on Solana right now is a very little bubble, but in the future, I truly feel like in my heart that it's gonna, like, I'm gonna make something of myself, and Solana is gonna be in the top three. It's gonna be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana until we flip Ethereum. So that's the
Yeah.
goal long term.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll flip Ethereum this cycle, but I can see a future definitely getting there. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you had your keys, your girlfriend had her keys locked in the car. A guy tells you about Shibs, shows you his bags. You're like, hell yeah, let's get into this. What brought you from that to Solana and NFTs though? Because crypto and Solana NFTs are two different things, in a sense. So how did you discover the NFT side of crypto after getting turned on to like a meme coin like Shib or Doge or something like that? So I'm kind of curious to how that happened with you.
Yeah, for sure. So number one, trading NFTs is more fun. I don't care what anyone says, like profits, no profit, like trading NFTs are so much more fun. But number two is just that, like I kind of mentioned earlier, like I saw the potential for gaming and what was possible with like the metadata. And once you like truly understand that they're not just like JPEGs with URLs, like the JPEG is the picture that just represents the smart contract. And I try to use this comparison to people all the time is that, you know, the title to your car can be an NFT. The picture of your car is the picture of the ape or the fox or whatever it is. But the metadata is the service report, the mileage, the accident report, the ability to hold it in your self-custody wallet that ideally you'd be able to connect to the DMV website, renew your registration, you know, like, and upload documents. Like that is what Web3 is, and like the proof of ownership. And I truly understand the gaming world. Like I definitely like come from a big gaming background. It's like a personal hobby. Not that I was ever competitive. I was a semi pro Overwatch player for a couple years, and I played a lot of like MLG with Halo 2 and Counter-Strike and stuff. But like I grew up in like in internet cafes, dude, kind of like, you know, like after school we'd hit the mall, and outside of the mall there was an internet cafe. So like I've always been into gaming, dude, and especially first person shooter games. So seeing what's possible on like Counter-Strike, and I knew that this was like gonna happen because people sell their accounts and there's no like serious marketplace to be able to do that, no safe way to like do it in escrow. Plus on the competitive side, you had, I don't know if you saw that Netflix series, but that dude that had got swatted over a $9 1v1, you know, like COD match is insane. So there has to be some security, some decentralization, some like protection of privacy, anonymity, you know. So like blockchain solves all of that. So that's what really, you know, brought me into NFTs, was that understanding of what's possible with the technology and like specifically gaming, which I feel is going to be integral for the future. But you know, what kept me here was all the different communities and then vibing with people like the Foxes, the Stoned Apes, dude, all the different projects that I've met along the way, dude. It's just been so amazing, and I draw like a little bit of inspiration from every one of them to try to either bring back to Moon Rangers or help like change my mindset to be more open to like different ideas, you know, because I'd rather like build someone up than break them down, even if something that I feel is not truly something I can believe in. I think that it's easier to hate, but it's hard to create. You know what I mean, man? It's just like, it's easy to sit on the sidelines and just critique and review a project, but it's harder to like bring your ideas into reality, man. And that's what we're all trying to do, is just like build ships that like see how close we can fly them to the sun without getting burned, you know, like, and keep the hype, keep the floor price, keep holders happy. They're so crazy what we're doing now, but in a wild way, it's going to be fun to look back at these times.
Well, this is a good segue, because my next question for you, of course, is like, you know, you worked with other projects, you got into Salon FTs, but what made you want to create your own project? Because for those that are listening that don't know, Quick has his own project called Moon Rangers. Maybe you can give us a quick summary of what Moon Rangers is and the story of how you decided you wanted to create your own project, or how you came about with being, you know, the founder or the person in control of Moon Rangers. Because I don't know the story of the project. I don't know if you took it over or if you actually created it. So I'm interested to hear about that right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. So the origin story of Moon Rangers. So really quick, like my background is after school, I owned and operated a franchise moving company, and then we eventually sold it. We tried to do like a storage company, but I wasn't really committed to it. And I got plugged in with Red Bull and I worked for Red Bull for like 4 or 5 years, like through COVID and everything. And I left there to come work for like Web3, basically. I had like another small job in between I got furloughed on, and that was it, dude. Like I'm going full-time Web3. But Red Bull was always fun, and I love the idea of always like being able to like own and operate like my own business, you know. And that's how I kind of treated my project initially. Like I had created our entire white papers was essentially a business plan, and we were backed by an in-house print shop. So my whole idea was to create merch with QR codes that you can scan, and that it'll go right back to your website, and I can do it for projects. So how it started originally was I became an advisor for this project, Mir Republic, only 444 mirrors. The founder just like, you know, this was from August, like right before the FTX collapsed in November. And as soon as the FTX collapse happened, he's like, oh, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore, you know. And people were like, it was a free mint, and then it got up to 1 SOL, and then like it dropped down to like 0.2, 0.3. So everyone was just going through it. And he left. So I was like, okay, look, I'm not taking his brand. I'm going to create my own if I'm going to do this right. and I created the Moon Rangers, and that was what it was going to be, like our print shop. You know, we're going to create a Web3 e-commerce store and just be like the print on demand service for projects, because I was able to handle it in house. Every single sale, I get a 23% profit. Like 23% is at a straight profit. So 3% goes to unforeseen variables, issues with shipping, just misprints, just customer support, and then 10% goes to the project, 10% goes to us. And I had everything lined up with soul splits and everything, and then no one bought merchandise, and then people didn't want to sign up, and it was hard getting people like onboarded, and it just cost a lot of money to like digitize it. So we tried doing the mint in February. The mint date, check this, you can't make this up, dude. It was February 25th was our mint date. What happened? Solana blockchain went down. The last time it went down anyway, from the V17 update.
Don't
and I was
miss
hitting
those
up like,
days.
bro, it's crazy because I hit up launched my NFT in the ticket, and I was like, hey man, like people can't mint, you know, and they're like, hey man, the entire blockchain isn't running. So, you know, I think that your like little NFT project, you know, isn't that serious right now. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I was like, this is like a sign that like, okay, like this is your chance. You can either like push through this, dude, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy uphill struggle the entire way, or you know, you could quit right now, and then you can like just basically like, look, we tried, we failed, you know, the blockchain went down, we're not going to go through with this. But I kept through, and I went through with the mint. We minted out all 300 of the free mints for the mirrors, because we ended up burning 144 of them, so 300. We minted all free. I ended up over the course of 4 months minting another 100, and then we just minted out 500 up to 500 and burned those. So I was sitting at a 400 supply. It was just hard to maintain because it was just me and a community manager, and we didn't even make any money really. Like the art alone cost me 100 SOL. And I put like so much money into the project, about portals, you know, like the digitizing the art. So I was very, very like over leveraged into this project, and we didn't mint out. So we reduced the supply even more to 250, and I just stayed consistent, man. I just pivoted, you know, and like I just kept like onboarding new people that I thought were gonna like bring value to the community, and I just like would use my own bags to buy out the people that just wanted to exit, that were just trying to make a quick flip. And I saw the vision like long term what I could do, and I knew that like right now wasn't the time to like be talking about like a print store and like and merch, because it's not, it was the entire bear market. Like no one's spending an extra 40-50 bucks on a hoodie. So it's, and that was just realistic. So I kept developing Web3 utilities. I had different staking platforms, and I finally got lined up with SoulSuite, man. And that was honestly like what helped like really keep pushing me going, and what's helped drive our success right now is being able to get all those utilities. And I've been able to onboard quite a few projects onto SoulSuite now. So we have a dope partnership. And because of the success of the Moon Show and like who I've been able to partner with and the gifts that we've gotten, that's how I figured was the best way to now deliver utility into my holders, was now to run any free NFTs that we get, like our decoders that we got, go right into the Adventures wallet. And right now,
Yep.
the Adventures wallet has like over $1,500 in prizes right now. You have a 10% chance of winning. And there's less than 250 people in the community. And like there's only 93 unique wallets. So which is like pretty good, but you know, it's like basically like two and a half rangers per wallet. But some of them are whales that are, you know, just been with me since the beginning. And like, ideally, I'd like to have one ranger per person, because that's all you need. And I connect with like a community of 250 before I do like anything else in the future. And if I did, this would be the genesis, you know, and this would be it. But like, I want to make this work first and work with the projects that I've been working, try to just deliver as much value and utility to my community. And then see where Web3 is all about pivoting, man. Just networking, collabing. Yep. Working with different projects, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, you know, and then, you know, just building a network, you know, and that's what I truly feel like I'm doing with the Moon Show and Rangers. And, you know, I really appreciate this platform for you to allow me to come up here and talk about this, you know.
Yeah, man, it's going to be you know, when we built DeCod3rs, it was to be a home for content creators and people out there that are doing good, that we want to showcase, and we want people to know about them, and try to bring the community to the forefront of where Web 2 sits on like YouTube, and try to engage, you know, and try to get it out there. So, I mean, that's exactly what the platform is made for. So, you know, I'm also happy to hear the shout out to SoulSuite. You know, as you guys know, Jelly is, you know, in my life. I'm part of their team. We have Carlos on. We do the Jelly show. We had SoulSuite on. We had Carl Culture from SoulSuite and Dem, and he's been on a deep dive. And they're all the SoulSuite team. So it's awesome to see that you are a testimonial, like that it works. That you, as a smaller project who's been pivoting, we're able to use something like Soul Suite and how much of a blessing it is for a smaller project to pivot and to provide value to your community. So that's awesome to hear that as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, and shout out Jellicoe, man. Carlos is an absolute legend. I see him as one of the most like pivotal members of the Solana ecosystem for what he's doing, and people I don't think realize it yet, because they just think of like all-time high rascals and they don't see like what's actually being created, the foundation of Jellicoe. But they have such a strong like business mindset going into this next bull run, and being a part of Soul Suite has just been like revolutionary for like Moonrange. So like basically I was just talking to Dem Dan about it. He's like, I was just on the phone with him yesterday. He's like, you guys are going to be like a success story because I'm one of the projects that like utilizes adventures to the fullest, and I'm always on top of things. I'm like, yo, I have custom lore. I want to put this in, change my banner. You know, we're doing these prizes. Don't give away this, you know, make sure everyone wins on this, you know, like, and so like, I'm really involved and he loves to see that. And now they've just released an art studio. They're partnering with launch pads. They literally have created the platform where if you wanted to bring your Web2 business, your community into Web3, into NFTs, they've created the perfect platform for you to basically build it from the ground up, from the art to the launch to the utilities to like the token. Like they even, Carlos was in the chat going over tokenomics with me, emissions rate, you know, how long like we wanted to do this, what the pivot would be, you know, burn supply, any like it was just really educational. And even I implore everyone that if you're just if you have a project, even if you don't want to sign up and you have your own utilities and staking, hop into Soul Suite, see what they can offer, see the mindset that they're at, network and get some information because they have such a wealth of it, man. And that everyone there is cracked, man. It's just it's so awesome, and I rock with them so heavy. Shout out the Rascals, shout out Jellicoe. They are actually our sponsor officially on Friday nights. So Friday Night Moon Show is booked with the utility service with Dem Dan and Soul Suite. So much love to them.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that back when we showed your show about how we do a show with you do a show with Soul Suite every Friday night. And you know, Dem Dam's there from the Soul Suite team and they talk about the utilities and you know, it's just a chill environment. You know, it's a cool space. It's a cool theme. I love how you have themes like every night of the week. You have a different kind of sponsor and theme. Like you do, you know, your shout out to your foxes are always, you know, top priority in Moon Rangers. But you have a show dedicated to like foxes. Then you have a show dedicated to Soul Suite, and you have like different shows every week that might vary. You know what I mean? Like maybe you'll do like a show with a different project. I love that, man. I think that's cool. That's what's cool about content creation too. Is people need to understand you got to stay at it. You got to keep putting out content. Even if you don't feel like doing it that day, you could be having the worst day of your life and be like, people aren't going to miss me, but you're still going to do that show. You're still going to show up. You're still going to be you. And you could be like literally like 10 minutes before the show, like having the worst like day of your life. And then after the show, you might feel different. You know what I mean? Like you might be like, yeah, I'm glad I did that. And that's what's cool about content creation because you never know whose life you're going to affect. You never know how it's going to affect your own life. And it's important as a content creator that you stay at it. So I
Dude, I got
commend
chills
you.
underneath my Solana hoodie. I feel like you literally just described it, bro. Like I'm sitting there like right before the space is about to start, you know, like, and it's hard sometimes. Yeah, for sure. But I truly believe that. And even in spaces, I just have like 10, 15 people and I'm putting out content and I'm thinking to myself like, man, dude, like I've listened to those other spaces with thousands and thousands of listeners, dude. And I know that this is better, or I know that like, not necessarily that it's better, but like it is better. Yeah, it is fucking, it's better, dude. Like, you know, and so that's like, you know, it hits you also. But like you said, man, just driving through the consistency. And I guess like what I do differently is like creating that structure, you know, because every week we can't just like show foxes, you know what I mean? You can't just like show Soul Suite every single week. You know, they may have an update that covers in like 10, 15 minutes. It's a 2-hour show. So what I really try to do is highlight a community member from the project to bring up and talk about what they've been doing, what they're building, give them a chance to talk about, you know, like their project, their life, their origin story, and then bring it back to like foxes or Soul Suite and how it's like impacted them. And I think that that's one of like the best ways because spaces are so undervalued. It's literally live audio metaverses, like podcasts that are happening live that anyone can join in, consistently growing. They're recorded so you can use it back for later. it's the closest thing that we have to other real life events. You know what I mean? Because it's just like a phone call with each
Yeah.
other, that we're like anyone can join and listen to. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. So having the structure and staying consistent, like you said, man, and plus like the willpower to do it, because like you said, there are some days that you just want to quit, that you don't even want to hit that start button to start recording, but you just like push through it. You think about the future, and you're like, future Quicks is gonna like really appreciate that I did this space, and put out, even if 10 people listen, and then sometimes 200, 300 people will listen. Oh, Shillin' Villain will just pop in, and all of a sudden I have like 80 listeners, dude. And I'm like, dude, now it's worth it, man. I definitely good advice for anyone like that's struggling. Like, just keep pushing through, like keep grinding, stay consistent, and because manifestation is real. You have to truly believe that like you are going to succeed in whatever you're doing, and the universe just refuses to deny that person that just doesn't quit, that just keeps showing up every day, keep banging on the door until like you get it, man. Like, you have to,
Yep.
as bad as you want to breathe, you have to want to succeed and like believe in yourself and whatever you're doing. And it could be anything. It could be spaces, it could be golf, it could be being a better artist, it could be learning, but like, now's the time, dude. Like every day, just try to, believe in yourself, dude. And that's cliche, but it's really true, man. It's the law of
No,
attraction.
it's facts, man. Everything you're saying is facts. Taking applications from real life and bringing in the Web3 and the same kind of mindset. Because what you're saying about manifestation, just I've manifested my whole life. I told myself I'm going to be successful in my career. I'm going to go against the bar, and people think I'm never going to make it in the industry that I chose when I decided to walk away from college and decide to go be a musician. Everybody doubted me. Family stopped talking. So, it's like, and I became successful. Why? Because I stayed at it. I stayed on the door, and I just kept at it, and I just believed in myself. And that's the most important part. King, you have a question. Are you talking in the sense of content creation about the advice? I just want to clear that up. If you mean content creation in itself, like what advice you have like for starting out in that mindset, just clarify that. But in the meantime, I just want to touch base on what you were saying, Quicks, about like showing up, and just what people need to understand is like, yeah, so what if you have 10,000 people in a space, or you have 10? If you can help one person a day in your life, that is super important, because you never know what other people are dealing with. They could show
Yeah.
up to your space, and they could
So
literally
true.
just like come out of your space with like a different feeling about their, or a different sentiment. And one of the reasons why I loved being a musician, and I chose to be a musician and a songwriter, is because I realized that writing songs and realizing what music did for me in my life, that I would have the ability to have that effect on multiple people all around the world, not even knowing if I was affecting people, but by putting out music and by creating music and being creative and doing it every day, that maybe one person would get something out of it. And to me, that was the biggest goal of like the biggest like reward, just knowing that you could create something that could help somebody else. And I think that's important with content creation too, because a lot of times, like the show, for example, somebody might get some advice out of this show that might change their direction, that might change their viewpoint on something that we're talking about, and it could click for them and it could make sense. And then tomorrow they start on that journey to do every day what they want to do and to change their life. And I think that's why it's important that we show up every day. Like you were saying before your show, you're just like, oh man, why am I doing this? There's only 10 people probably show up, and you're like hard on yourself. But then you show up and you're just Quicks that everybody knows. Nobody knows that struggle you're dealing with. Even me, when I do these shows, a lot of times I'm like, like, man, I just don't feel like turning on the cameras. I don't feel like setting up, but you do it because, there's a greater good out of it. But before we digress too far away from content creation, because I want to get back into your
Yeah, I
particular
want to
journey.
answer
Yeah,
King Feast's question, but like you said, bro, just to like really quick say, like, I truly believe in that. You never know what that person's going through next to you, even online. Just be. It's completely free to be a good person. They could be holding on by a string, and like, it really. I got a little emotional there because I've literally had messages from people to be like, hey man, I've had this happen to me, in the past week, or I was like, I've been at my all-time low, and like hearing your space and like hearing you guys laugh and make idiots of yourself, and or learning about this project, like you changed my day, man. And like, you, like, thank you for that. And like
Yep.
truly is, like you said, makes it all worth it. And I'm sure you experienced that in your music, Jazz. You know, people like hitting you up, be like, "Yo, this has gotten me through hard times," and like being able to like do that for people like is so much more rewarding than like any money that you can get it. In my personal opinion, dude.
For sure. Yeah. So King's curious about content creation, starting a project in general. What kind of advice? Now, you as a founder and as a content creator, please, what advice would you have for King with this question?
Yeah, for sure. So King, first and foremost, my DMs are open, and taking that, like there's so many people that are willing to give out information. So use that. Number one, networking is completely free in the industry that we're in right now. Joining a Discord in these times, chances are you're going to talk directly to the mod, to the founder, someone on the team. If you're messaging in the chat, they want to join new communities. People want to help other people out. So I would say networking, number one, is like the biggest thing you can do. Um, if you're looking for a project, like I know that we have the sponsored space with them, but like Soul Suite truly is a project that you would want to learn about and try to get involved with and ask your questions, because they can do everything for you, from the launching of the NFT to the token to the utilities. And all of those Web3 utilities are going to keep your community engaged as you're creating content. And through that content, as long as you're rewarding back into your community, like I'm doing, that's how it can become successful. So I was essentially able to like just do like what your question is, kind of build this up from a low budget or free, just by hosting the space, messaging people, hey, would you like to come on? Like, hey, we've been doing this, and like other, and then people following up. Like one of the biggest things that like content creators I don't think do is like engaging with their audience. Like I try to, I mean, people that tune in every night, I don't DM anymore. But in the beginning, like I used to DM people and just be like, hey, thanks for tuning into the space, man. Hope you had a good time. Let me, I want to see you again. Let me know if you needed anything. And then, like it just became like from there, like people would like bring me, hey, bring on this project, or you got to talk to them, or like, hey, you're going to love like, Days from Bored Ape Solana Club, man. And it's just like really, really incredible, dude. So that's like the biggest thing I could also offer is like to get involved in Soul Suite, especially if you're trying to create like an NFT project, because like it's just really incredible, the information and the utilities, what they can do for you for free. And it's for free, doesn't cost you anything except time to set everything up. And then it's just using all the network, all the different people. If there's a community that you want to vibe with, join the Discord, talk to them, just see what they're about, ask your questions, or people are more than willing to like vibe and answer anything and support you. So, and I know I am. So King Feast, if I hope that answer helps, but if not, hit my DMs at SoulQuicks on Twitter, or I'll see you in the DeCod3rs Discord, shoot me a message, man. I'll always be able to help you out. Oh, and shout out Carlos also listening, dude. What's up, fam? Dem Dan's fired, dude. That's so funny. No, he needs a promotion. Me and him just vibe. We work as a great team.
No, we were talking about Soul Suite a little earlier too, Carlos. So Quicks was talking about how successful it's been for his project and how rewarding it is for his holders, and what a wonderful job and the creation of Soul Suite was for the smaller projects that are pivoting. So much love to you, Carlos, and Jelly Team, of course, for creating Soul Suite to provide utility to projects that are trying to pivot, struggling, or that just need a fresher breath air for their project. And like I said, Quicks can be the spokesperson. I've lived it. I've tried this product, and it does well for me.
I'm gonna be the poster child. Now that like people have seen me, hopefully, like I told you my fox is more handsome, but like people have seen me now, so now I'll become the poster child for a successful project that went through everything with Soul Suite. And then who knows? Maybe we'll expand on the Moon Rangers one day. Because there's only 250, so and they have an art studio now, so it's completely possible. But that's to scale with growth on the Moon Show.
No, man, you're definitely using it for what it's there for. I pay attention to the tickets, and I'm always in there making sure that, nobody's like waiting for an answer. But thankfully, the Jelly Team is so incredibly responsive. I see Baca answer things so fast. It's ridiculous that he's got the amount of time that he does to answer tickets, be there for all the projects in Soul Suite, building Jelly Drop, being the Rascals main dev. It's incredible how people resource their time in Web3. And you yourself, man, I don't know how you resource your time, because you're everywhere. You're doing so much different things between you having your own project, doing your spaces, being a part of so many different communities. Because being a part of community isn't just dropping in saying good morning. It's engaging. It's being part of the communities. It's talking. It's helping people in the Discords. It's in DMs, taking time to talk to people. So that takes a lot too. You know, it's a lot of time. So I want to, segue into, where do you see your future? Like, you have a project, you're here, you're doing spaces, you're a content creator in this. Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years with crypto? Do you see yourself staying in NFTs? Do you see yourself, making a bag and retiring? I mean, do you see Web3 in your future? Like, where's the future with Quicks and Web3? Like, what do you see, man?
You know, I've always believed that like when you're passionate about something and you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I truly feel that like, yeah, sometimes the spaces are a grind just because I do have a full-time job also that I work, like I have to pay the bills. I have a dog. I don't know if you've seen her walking around Mika Moon. But she needs food, she needs attention and everything. So life is definitely stressful, but I envision myself like in a perfect world working full-time, like either as ambassador to Solana or with my Moon Rangers and my own brand, like building a brand and just like supporting projects in the ecosystem. Like obviously, like I'm a Solana maxi. You see me right here. I even like literally have my little like I'm a Solana maxi, dude, and that's okay because I own Bitcoin, I own Ethereum, and but I mainly my bags in Solana because I believe in the technology. I believe what they're building. It's the second highest decentralized blockchain according to the Nakamoto coefficient. 4 client validators, only 2 blockchain. Ethereum and Solana are the only one with more than 2, and we have 4 of them. Fire Dancer clocked in at 1 million TPS. It's faster than a Visa transaction. Uses little energy. It's the finality 0.4 seconds is just, and these are studies from Visa, their case study. So the tech is there. It's continuing to grow. I believe that Solana is for everyone. And I think that being a part of the ecosystem and being able to be, like I said, my dream is to have a panel on Breakpoint one day, to travel to Breakpoint one day, be able to speak and represent Solana. And then in between that, like growing my brand, growing the Moon, connecting with all these amazing projects like Jellyco and Foxes and BR1, who I didn't get a chance to talk about soon. But dude, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for Jelly drop next month. I'm excited for our treat stores dropping soon on Soul Suite. And I'm excited for the future of Solana. Top 5 crypto today officially. Like you can't deny us anymore, man. We've been through everything. And so that's kind of where I envision myself in the next few years, is like hopefully a pivotal, positive voice in the Solana ecosystem that's helping other positive, good projects help build, and connect, or at least connect them with the people that are going to build. Because I'm not a dev.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, the energy you have is perfect for where your vision, where you want to see yourself. Stay at it, man. That's all only advice I can give you. If you want to see yourself on Breakpoint, like you said earlier, manifest that shit. See it every day in your head. See yourself on that stage. Put yourself on that stage in your head and work to it, man. Work your ass off and get there. It's possible. Anything is possible. I'm sure you've lived through it. Anything you want for yourself, you can go get, but you got to believe in yourself and you got to, push yourself to get there and work your ass off to get there. So keep up the good work, man. I just want to say, before we, call the show, how much I appreciate someone like you in this space, because it's not often you find people that are 100% positive almost 100% of the time. You never see them have a bad day, and it's because you don't show it. I mean, we are all human. We all have bad days. We all go through some shit. You might be stressed out from work. You might have a bad day. Like, I have dogs myself. They get sick, and it stresses us out. But, we just got to put on the, in Discord and on spaces, we just got to stay who we are. Because again, back to the point that you never know who's having a bad day. You never know who you could help just by, putting out that content. So I'm very thankful for a person like yourself, Quicks. And I just want to, commend you for staying the course and being you. And I hope that you stay this person, because we need more positive people in this space. We need people that can help pick up others and, change perspectives, because a lot of people have bad perspectives that come in, that on board into Solana or just the space, that really don't know what they're doing. So running into someone like yourself would be ideal for somebody that was just coming on that might not know what's going on, because they might get a lot of positive reinforcement and just understand how things work. Because I love your spaces, man. I might not always come in and talk in your spaces, but I like to show up when I can, and just put my face in there, and hopefully that like people see me in the space and they'll want to hop in, see what's going on, because that's what it's about. It's about that network. It's about, spreading the love, and you want people to find people like you. I want more people to know about you, and that's why you're on the show. And I hope that more people after the show will come and check you out every 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on the Moon Show, because I recommend it. And like Carlos even said, I'm going to put it up on the screen so everybody can see it. But 100%, Carlos is right on, man. We love having you in Jelly. We love having you in Soul Suite, and just in the space in general, man. I'm not trying to build you up, but that's what this show's about. Just want to let you know I appreciate you, and a lot of the Soul Space appreciates you, brother.
I'm sorry. Can you still hear? There it is. I don't know. My connection's like a
Yeah, I
little
hear
bit.
you. Did you break
Okay.
out? Did you break out on the whole time? I just like chilled and built you up and talked about you.
No, I appreciate all the flowers. I just want to make sure you can hear me, that I'm accepting the flowers. Because I don't know if you can see me. Okay.
No, you've been glitchy, like I was saying before the show. Like your video has been like really like laggy, but your voice has been 100% the whole time. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. It's just people now they realize why you're called quick. She's just so quick, the camera can't keep
I
up
know,
with
yeah.
it.
Actually, the camera can't literally keep up with me. But so like something I keep next to me, of course, is my little Solana papers, but also this little thing. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll leave it right here for you guys. And I try to like follow this mantra every day. Like whatever you're doing, like they won't work unless you do. Like whatever you're doing, like follow through with it and just be passionate and give it your all, so that you can look back and say that you tried your best doing it. And I'm always gonna be like a Jedi of Solana, man. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and some of those things that keeps me going is like being able to give up everything I fear to lose, and you can accept that you could wake up tomorrow and everything could be drained or things are shut down your account, dude. Like like you just have to stay positive. Acceptance is a huge part of that. So my DMs are always open to everyone that tuned in today at Soul Quicks, tuned into the Moon Show Monday through Friday, 10 to 12. Quick Alpha official sponsorship lineup for 2024. Monday is going to be BR1, the shooter game on Solana. Tuesday, we're looking to get it set up with Monet Raffles and Stoned Ape Crew. Wednesdays are Ion Poker, but it's going to be a toss-up with them and E-Blockchain for what they're doing. And then Thursday, Foxes. Friday, Soul Suite, as normal. So big year planned ahead for 2024. Might have to expand the Moon Show because now we're kind of like booked up on sponsorships. But I'm excited to vibe with these communities, help them build, highlight some of their members, and just put on a great show, man. So I appreciate everyone that's my holders, that supports me, that tunes in, or even if you don't, just open up a ticket in my Discord and tell me about your complaints and how I can, I'll see if I can fix them.
Yeah, man, it's tough being a founder in Web3, and it's tough to build in Web3 and keep the holders happy. Luckily for you, like you said, you don't have many holders. You don't have thousands of holders, or even a couple hundred holders is a lot to try to keep happy. But there comes a point in Web3 where you still got to do what's best for the project. Yeah, you listen to feedback, you scale it, but you can't just like appease everybody in Web3. So don't kill yourself trying to like make everybody happy. But in a smaller community, I mean, you're more able to be consistent with that, because if you only have 100 holders, then it's really easy to help the majority be happy in the community. And I think you're doing a great job. I mean, I haven't been in your server. I'm not part of Moon Rangers. Apologies there for that, but maybe that will change here soon. Maybe I'll go pick up a few instead of throwing money at shit coins.
Well, you just need one. You just need one. You don't have to go like sweep a whole bunch of Rangers. Buy one, or I'll grab one for you. Because I don't even have any more to give away. They're all either in the Adventures prize wallet, or I've already like onboarded people and like given them to them.
I would rather you give them
again. So
I would rather you give them. I know that's the thing. Like
oh my gosh, man, that hurts, dude, so bad always. But I don't.
But
That's
it's
why.
it's part of the network, brother. That's why, like for example, you'll see DeCod3rs like you have a couple of DeCod3rs to give away, because I wanted to donate some to Soul Suite just to expand the DeCod3rs and put them out there, and I was very fortunate that they were willing to take some of our NFTs and put them into the wallets to use for prizes, and people win them and floor them. That's their being. So be it. I mean, maybe one person will come across the art and be like, wow, I could fuck with this. This is cool art. Let me check out this project. And that's what it's all about. It's about the network. You're going to keep giving them away and try to onboard people. And, you know, for every 10 you put out there, one might stick. So don't let that bring you down, brother. It's going to happen. People in this space, man, they're just here trying to make a bag. They act nice. They act friendly, but they're all about themselves, and that's fine because it's a business for some people, and some people are hustling. You will find those authentic ones. You know, it's very rare, but you'll find an authentic person that will actually appreciate your generosity and will hold it forever and never sell it. And even if it goes to 20 or 30 sold and you're like, yo, sell it. I want you to sell it. Take that profit. They'll still have that, you know, allegiance to you and just be like, nah, man, you gave this to me. This is special. So, you know, but those are, you know, not even a dime a dozen. Those are like 1 in a million.
Well, I appreciate you also hyping me up to the point now my holders are listening like, oh, 20, 30 sold floor one day. Okay. Yeah. Now I got to work like, you know,
Hey,
20x
anything
is
is
hard right
possible.
now. So
I mean,
anything
anything
in
is
Solana,
possible,
baby.
man.
Anything's possible
I mean,
in Solana. Top 5 cryptocurrencies in the world. Bro, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on, man. This was such an amazing experience, dude. And I'm always shout out decoders. Tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, stack your views. And dude,
yes.
you gotta come on the Moon Show more so we can like hear what you guys got art upgrades, customization, trait swaps next month. We gotta talk about decoders, man. So
Yeah,
we
we
gotta
got
get back on the Moon Show.
we got our own marketplace launching, and very soon we just tested it, so that's good. So people will be able to buy like whitelist and different things with like their tokens. So you're earning your tokens, and then hopefully you can make it into something tangible. You know, trying different things, trying similar things to other things. Like, you know, kind of our marketplace is kind of mimicking like what Acid Dash does. But Acid Dash has been one of our partners since the beginning. You know, before anybody knew about Acid Dash, we were working with them. So
I
you know,
did your
they inspired.
lessons. I
Yeah.
stacked my tickets and my coins. I did your decoders lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, they inspired us, you know, and it was good to see them be so successful from the beginning of just like us talking to them, and people are like, "Who are these people?" Oh, you can track your portfolio, whoop-de-doo, you know, and that's kind of like the reaction a lot of people had to Acid Dash back in the day. But it's good to see. It's good. I love seeing success stories, man. I love seeing people try new things and it taking off. Decoders, we're gonna keep building. You know, I'm not worried about floor price. You know, floor price is down. That's just the holders that are just impatient and just want to sell their assets. You know, most people got them for free anyway, just from watching their videos. Not too concerned about it. So, you know, we're just gonna keep providing value and building. But I'm gonna take a page from your book. At the end of your spaces, you always have people summarize everything. I'm not going to ask you to answer all 3 questions you usually ask, but the only question I think is important is, what's your message to the world? If you have to say one thing right now, like, what do you want people to know that's an important lesson that you've learned? Like you said earlier, you know, losses, you know, are just lessons. So what do you want to tell the world right now if they were listening?
We've covered a lot, dude. I feel like I've given a lot of like motivational TED Talks, but I think that the most important thing that like we covered is to choose happiness. You know, there's nothing more important in this world than happiness, your own and other people's, and bringing happiness to other people, man. And just, it's absolutely free to be a good person and show support. Costs you absolutely nothing. It actually exerts more energy for you to put out that negative, you know? So
Yep.
if you're typing up a FUD tweet, just leave it in the drafts. If you need to get it out and actually type it, do it, but don't send it, you know, like
Yep.
get your frustration, because we all have demons, man. We all have to fight, you know, those battles, the 2 wolves, man. So it's just, you got to choose always to feed, you know, choose the good side, choose the light, be a positive person, and it will come back to you, you know. And it can be, you know, infuriating seeing these people, degens, making $100,000, $200 on shit coins, but it's not sustainable. And if you're here for the long term, these are peanuts compared to like what's going to be brought in, you know, once like we do have that mass adoption, man. So be part of like be part of the ecosystem, spread the good positive vibes, and subscribe to the Decoders channel and buy Moon
Yeah.
Rangers if you vibe with me. So much love. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, just
Solana
to
to the
catch up
moon.
to the Decoder listeners, happy holidays, everybody out there listening. Hope you guys have a blessed Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope you're having a great time with that, because I know that's ongoing now. Any just happy holidays overall. If you're out there, celebrate life, celebrate your family, celebrate the people around you that you love. And next week we'll be a little slow with videos. Vince is traveling back to France for family with holidays, so he won't be hosting the show. Next Tuesday morning we still will do the Tuesday morning for me. Next Tuesday we'll still do the Jelly Show with Carlos, and part of the Jelly team will come on, and I will be doing a deep dive next Wednesday night with our good friend Socrates. Everybody knows him from the channel. He's been on the channel numerous times, but we're going to actually dive a little deep into him and his Web3 journey, because he's another super positive person and helps so many people in this space. So I really want to showcase a lot of the things that brought him here, and his mindset, just like we did with you, Quicks. Quicks, thanks for your time. As I always say, time is more valuable than any money out there. You giving me an hour of your time. Oh, he just dipped out. Well, he can watch this on replay. He lost connection, I guess, but much love to Quicks, man. Appreciate your time. Everybody listening, we'll see you guys. He just messaged me his phone died, guys, so he didn't just bounce out, but it was perfect timing. I was wrapping the show up, so much love to everybody. We'll see you guys in the next one.